I will say this and say it again. I'm not going to say only Nigerians. Africans, majority of us are hypocrites. When the guy died, the first 2 weeks, it was nyama. Let me say it in the Nigerian term. It was nyama. Everybody was talking about it. Justice for Mohbad. All those who were doing those hashtags, those who went on the vigil.
The vigil.
What did you get at the end?
Today marks exactly a year we lost a Nigerian singer-songwriter, Mohbad, aka Light. And a lot happened from day one of his death till today. A lot is still going on. Millions of naira has been spent in keeping the body in the mortuary. There's been a lot. Still, we can't pinpoint to say that he's been buried. Autopsy report inconclusive because according to the coroner, it says that the state of decomposition of the body could not make, the whole autopsy conclusive. They couldn't really tell that this is the exact thing. But then one thing they were able to point out in terms of what it contained was the injection he had. It was a composition of tetanus, paracetamol, and others that, actually got a reaction from him, convulsion, vomiting, goosebumps, and then the latter was, he passing out. If you are an ardent follower of, social media stories, we had people following from day one. A typical example is myself. I couldn't come to terms with the fact that this gentleman is no more.
Young wonderful talent.
One song I loved about him was the song that had his a car race. If you watch it, I love it. The main reason why I loved it was I didn't understand the language.
That was one of his most popular songs.
I didn't understand the content, but then the beat alone, and the guy looked fine. No two ways. That was a fine gentleman. Gone waste like that. He could have come to Ghana, for 1 or 2, but he's gone waste now.
He looks edible,
Very.
Harriet, you see, I have reliable information that when you go to heaven, they watch only 2 channels over there.
Ghana.
When you go, they have
Ghana,
only 2
Nigeria.
channels. Now, when into Gabriel, they want to laugh, they tune into Ghana. When they want to watch Super Story,
They turn to Nigeria.
They want to hear stories that will marvel them.
Now,
stories that will blow your
mind. They'll go to Nigeria.
Let's take a look at, from day one of his death. Later, videos came out. Someone, in the car, people in the car shouting, Mohbad is dead, this, and that. Now we had someone, give an encounter at the hospital saying that he actually came to the hospital. They took a photograph with him. He didn't die. He was not dead when they brought him. Hospital comes out to issue a statement that he was brought in dead. And so they told them they don't have a mortuary, so they should take him to a mortuary. Fast track, they contact the nurse who administered, the injection. Nurse said, blah, 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 blah. She happened not to be a professional nurse. That was the story that came out. Good. Now, we go into, I've forgotten the name of this institution. The institution that is in charge of drugs and,
NAFDAC.
No. They have something. Naira Marley was a brand ambassador.
Yes, I'll check.
Good. We would get the name of that. Now, they also come out to say lots of things. Lagos or Nigeria police, people were really leaning on them that they would come out to say something, to calm the tempers of people. And all frustrations were geared towards the family, most especially his dad. Your son dies, a gentleman who has lived a life. He has a life. He's a family man. He's not a Muslim. And he's buried in such a painful way. I'm sure you saw the final remains of him squeezed into that matches box with his head, I don't know whether his neck was broken. I don't know. It looked very painful.
Yes,
and he was buried and the grave and whatever cemented like concrete on that very day. And the question was, what was the father hiding? Why was he in a rush to bury him? Now they exhumed the body. The coroner decides to do his work. And the coroner says, due to the decomposition of the body, they are not able to rule out the exact cause. Decomposition, he is buried a day And the next day, the body is exhumed and he's decomposed to a point that we can't rule out that this is what killed him. I know that in the other parts of the world, someone can die for 10 years and there's a way they can, am I wrong? Mm-hmm. There is a way they can find out this is what killed the person. It's been a year. Nigeria police hasn't said a word. They've not buried him. What more are they lingering on? Is there any truth they are covering from the wife to his friend? They arrested Naira Marley and Sam Larry, and these two were cleared of the case. Come out. What is it? And the painful thing is that we can all remember that Mohbad had filed, cases to the police of abuse from his team, Naira Marley, Sam Larry. We've seen videos of Sam Larry actually attacking this gentleman on set. Nothing was actually done about it. He's gone now, and still nothing is done. Do you think there's something Nigeria police is hiding? Christian, let me start from you.
Well, if there is anything that they are hiding, I cannot tell. And if you follow the story chronologically, you realize that it's a very painful one. And one wouldn't understand why the father would be in that rush to bury the man, And when the father was asked, he said because he's young and 27 years, at 27 years, at least he's lived some life.
He has a family. He's a married man with a child.
27 years.
He belongs to the society.
Why not? So, you see, if you put all of these together, if you connect the dots, you are tempted to think that there is something in there. There is something that, the world is not supposed to know. And so they have decided to hide those things. In fact, people have been very disappointed in the dad, or people were disappointed in the dad. And people have been disappointed in the doctor. In fact, he's a professor who conducted the autopsy. People have been disappointed in Nigerian police. Because, if you, as I mentioned, if you connect the dots, you don't understand some of the things that have happened all this while. No. Maybe there is something that is hidden in there. Because the person dies. Now, someone says that, yes, when we sent him to the hospital, he was not dead. No, when they brought him, he was already dead, and we tried to resuscitate him, and it never happened. It never happened. And so we didn't have a mortuary. He had to be sent elsewhere. He's brought home, and the next moment, he is buried. Oh, no. Hetty, I think that there is something that the world
needs to know.
Yes, but they are just failing to let us. And I don't think anyone else will ever know. I think it is gone. And so that is what happens. You made mention of, Willie made mention of Ghana and Nigeria. You die. There are people have died here in Ghana, and they are gone. No justice for them.
Like Fennec.
You understand? Yes, there's been no justice for them. When it happened, people talked about it, blah, blah, blah. It is dead and gone, and nobody's talking about it again. No justice for them. And it is happening in Nigeria. Yes.
Shanzi, let me come to you.
That's when you hear news like this, you just feel sad for, the whole, I don't know. Sometimes you feel like, okay, when you have the name, you have the fame and everything, some things are supposed to work out for you, but then it still doesn't. It still doesn't. So it makes you look like, hey, you understand? Because Mohbad is just, as a human being, just like everybody else. And then this has happened to him.
It could happen to you too.
It could happen to anybody. So,
but if there was any lesson you learned,
lesson. No, I don't know. I don't know how he lived his life, because I heard news
looking at how he died, the role his family played,
exactly.
And then
learned? actually got people talking a lot was with Naira Marley, the Sam Larry, the
Record labels
issues,
people sign
yes,
on
and
to.
all that. You know, at a point, people even started talking about last minute because Naira wanted to sign last minute, and people were saying, "Hey, I'm not doing last minute. I dance." So sometimes you don't know. You can never be too careful. I don't know how he lived his life. I don't know the whole situation that he found himself, in.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's sad. It's really sad when you see some people die and then they have no justice. They have nobody to speak for
Fight for
them.
them.
You at a point they said they gave him some injection B. They took him somewhere. He was doing a live video. He was crying and
A lot.
it was something very sad. You can't just phantom the whole thing.
It takes
Where did
only
it
him
even
to
start?
tell his truth.
You understand? It's like he didn't say anything. We knew nothing. He just died and the story started coming up.
Yeah.
Olamide Dams, a lot
videos and all
of
of
people actually, got into the whole issue trying to give or bring justice to this guy, but then Uncle Siaga. So is it like there are certain situations, no matter what you do,
It just happens. and that's it.
nobody can do anything about it? Or is it about power? Or the kind of people we associate ourselves with? Is it that the people that did it have the kind of power that this guy
Influence.
doesn't have? The family do not have. When it comes to Ghana here, we can relate this with Castro. Yes,
Thing
we
is,
can.
it's a bit
Even though this
different.
one
It's
has
a bit different.
because
Yeah.
the
You can't prove that
controversies.
Castro is
No,
dead,
wait.
so-
No, we can
Per
now
the
call
law,
him
we
dead.
can now, yes.
Well,
This
you've not
has
seen his body.
We can call him dead.
Because-
The law gives us the right to.
what the reason I'm saying this is per Mohbad's issue, the controversies, the controversies around the whole story is a lot. Which that one we can't take that out of the whole story. But when it comes to Castro's own, I say yakata so. I don't know SHMPA. We didn't see any video of anybody doing anything. We didn't hear Castro say anything. We didn't see anything. So there are no traces to
Right.
what the situation is really about. You understand? So I feel like there are lots to it. But yakata kataso. And kataso, so it can be that big, and then people will be that influential and powerful to the point where they can do something to you. We have so many people that are hidden. They went off without we knowing anything about their disappearance. And up till now, we know nothing about these people. We have people that, and when people start saying things, that you know that there are lots of things going on that we have no idea about. You can never be too careful, but then
Really?
still now you're
right. Willie, a quick one, and then we move on to other stories.
For me, I believe this guy's issue, Mohbad's issue, was a lot of foul play happened that people don't know. And me, when the issue popped up, I was following Very Dark Man because I felt he was giving a lot of updates on it. And I think he was one who even called out for the arrest of Sam Larry and what's his name? Naira Marley. And afterwards, we are not even hearing anything about it. And I will say this and say it again. I'm not going to say only Nigerians. Africans, majority of us are hypocrites. When the guy died, the first 2 weeks, it was nyama. Let me say it in the Nigerian term. It was nyama. Everybody was talking about it. Justice for Mohbad. All those who were doing those hashtags, those who went on the vigil.
The vigil.
What did you get at the end? What was the end gain for the vigil? Were you able to get that? People are not asking the right.
It could be that someone was trying to get the bottom of it, but as a baby,
no, then it means you are not ready to fight for freedom.
Can you be fighting?
If you are ready to fight for justice, nothing stops you.
Are you serious?
If you are ready to,
even if you've been threatened,
that is why you are fighting for justice. You put your life on the line.
Really?
No, because
you can.
That is why I'm not fighting for justice.
Okay.
If I am fighting for justice, I have to put myself on the line.
Hey.
Because you are open to those things.
And they kill you, and then what?
At the end of the day, you are looking for something. You are like a scientist. You created corona and corona killed you.
Small, yes, and
But I'm saying for you to do this, I thought they failed to ask the questions they needed to ask. What happened to our brother Mohbad? You come after some months or years and you come and spill some BS as a corona and tell us that the guy didn't die, the guy this, the guy that. You don't. Someone died for let's say 2 months and the corona couldn't tell us that he died of APC, he died of Yarea. We don't know. All we had is they can't find blah blah blah. It's a joke. And okay, I'm in Ghana, so I can say this. And the judge who sat on the case sat there and listened to this joke. You couldn't apprehend people because it is a clear evidence that there's a foul play somewhere. And if you've watched series of videos, you remember there was some time his dad went to Naira Marley to go and apologize. Mm-hmm. We saw all those parts when Naira Marley was on the bed and the man was standing there like a small boy. So all these people, I don't know how you people read intelligence though, and I'm not in a position to say A, B, or C. But if you read intelligence very well, you know that this young man didn't have to die like this. After all, anyone would die. Everybody would die in life. Everybody's going to die in life. But there should be a meaningful cause to your death. Not that you die and there are a lot of stories about you. Yes. Your baby mama they say it's your baby mama. They say it's your father. They say it's your record label. They say we don't know the cause. And I'm saying this, if it was in an advanced country, we would know the root cause. Look at the number of years Tupac died. But later we found out the guy who shot him. We found out. So I feel they are not following the case very well. This man is dead. You go and pick him up and you are telling me you don't know what killed him. What kind of joke? What kind of story? Like I said, Nigeria is the super story in heaven. Ghana is the Kumawood in heaven. When these people are sad, they just come and watch and laugh.